Let's look at process transaction state. What is it? This state is responsible for creating the actual process. Whatever process we have to execute and which is repetitive will be placed inside this particular block or state, you can say, for that matter. Here we have a try catch block. In try we have a process XAML. In catch we have business exception assigned. We have system exception assigned. So you can create n number of exceptions from this particular thing. And in finally I have another XAML which has been put into a particular try catch again. Let me take you through this particular process.xaml. It has nothing in it, so it is a workspace where you have to start implementing. You have to drag some activities which can be used to automate your particular process, so it will come empty. Then as I go below, as I scroll down, we can see in the finally I have another XAML. This particular XAML is used to send out the notifications, or it is the particular XAML which will help us to loop through each and every transactions available, which will in turn help this particular state. Let's see how it will be helpful to us. And finally I have this block. I'm trying to open this workflow. Here you can read the description of that. It helps us to log the status and other logging fields. See, when we are over here, there are 3 blocks available. There are 3 possibilities. So one is it can be successful. Second, it can be a business rule exception. It can be a system error. If I just come back to this, as we can see, there are 3 transitions available to us. These are the 3 transitions. If it is a success, here's a success. So it will go pick the next transactions and then process it. If it is a business rule exception, it will notify the user and it will go to the next transactions. If it's a system exception, that will go to the init all applications. It will open all the applications required to process. It will go to that particular get transaction data again and it will come over here. Here in success we have something called transaction item, and there are some validations that we will do. We will talk about it later anyway. And then we are setting the transaction. If it's successful, we will set successful here, or if it's failure, then we have other loggings available over here. We are incrementing as we have discussed earlier. Here our transaction number in the main, it's 1, right? So here we are incrementing it so that we can go to the next available transaction. For success we are doing it. Here's a retry, so we can run the failed cases for n number of times, and that is what we mean by retry. And maybe we have decided that retry as 3 times. So because it was successful, I'm just initializing this particular argument. Because it is available in arguments, I'm saying argument. Okay, we are assigning it 0 again. And then what if it's a business exception? It will go over here, it will set the transaction to failed, and it is a business type error, and then we are incrementing it and we are initializing the retry number. What if it's a system exception? If it's a system exception, that we have another flow here. So we are assigning few queue retry flags and all that, and here we have the mechanism. See, because we can mention the maximum retry from our configuration file. If it's that particular thing has reached its maximum value, then it will go to rewrite and it will increment. Else, because it's a system exception, we are trying it for 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the maximum retry number is. Okay, we are going to this particular flow, we are not incrementing it for the first time, but when we reach the maximum count, we will increment the transaction and we will move on to the next transaction, because we have tried it for the 3 times but it has failed. Okay, so that is about the set transaction status, which is available in this particular state, process transaction state. And here itself you will try to kill all the processes if you need to close them. Coming back to main.